Hey everyone, I'm sorry I am late. You don't usually hear me say that, but I'm usually right on the money. I just had several other calls that I had to get through before I could get over here to this one. So I appreciate your patience. Let's get started right away so that we have everybody online. So if you can just, anyone has any questions, you can just type it right into the question box. And that is how I will know that you have any, you need to speak to me. The chat box does not work, so for the general population. But anyway, let's get started. This is the Masterclass Offer Writing Workshop. I've entitled this one, how to quickly determine whether you're being bamboozled. I mean, this is actually going to be a relatively short class, but please don't, think that the lack of quantity is any reflection on quality. I think you're going to get a lot out of this this little lesson I'm going to teach right now. But just so I can make sure, let's see how many people. Let me just make sure you guys can all hear me correctly. Yeah, I'm showing my screen. Everything looks good. Great, excellent. Okay, so let's get started. All right. First off, as I always do, let me start with the disclaimers. I am a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. Please hire an attorney. It'll be the best money you ever spent. I act like an attorney, but I'm not your attorney. I'll always conduct myself in the same professional manner as a lawyer. But I cannot represent you. I am licensed to practice only in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and therefore, if I do anything for you outside of there, it's called the unlicensed practice of law, and we can get in trouble for that. I'm not really looking to get into trouble, so I will work very closely with your attorney. So make sure that you all understand that. Now, I'll be back on the road in March, I believe. I think the first two towns that Duncan and I will be going to will be Nashville and Charlotte. We have some interesting deals going on. One of the properties, businesses that we own, there are about 20 single-family homes that we are going to be selling. We own them outright. There's no bank involved. So during these discussions in Nashville and in Charlotte, we're going to be allowing attendees to make offers on those properties as packages, and whoever comes up with the best deal is going to get those terms. And we can act as the bank because we hold these properties with no paper on them. The due diligence boot camp is now on video. I'm very happy to report that because this has taken me quite a while. I finally got it done. It's almost 8 hours of training, and I've just gotten some phenomenal reviews from people stating how great it is, how much they've enjoyed it, how much they've learned from it. So please, if you want to find out more about that, it's going to be posted soon. I'll be announcing it probably in February once I get the membership issues squared away with that particular add-on. And as usual, any questions, you just type it right into the block there. Now, let's check my email. And this is what I want to have all of you understand so that you know the types of things that we as multifamily investors have to go through. Once you start, like if you look at my first video in the training program, I show you all these different places to find off-market deals. What will happen is you'll start putting your name on lists, and people will start sending you properties. And you've got to be able to figure out, there's a lot of posers out there, as I call it. A lot of people who are just out there, they think they know what they're doing. They, even a blind squirrel catches a nut every once in a while. They caught lightning in the bottle. They think they have a great multifamily deal, and they put it out there and, put unrealistic demands on us as to what they want in response to these offers. And what I want to do is really kind of show you how quickly I can go through these things and say, oh, this guy's trying to bamboozle me. Why am I wasting my time with this? Or move on. If anything, it'll show you how to save time, but more importantly, it'll also, this lesson will probably show you a couple of tricks of the trade and that once you learn these tricks, no one's going to blow smoke around you ever again. So let's take a look at this. This is the first email I received from this one particular organization. Now, this particular organization holds himself out to be a kind of like a wholesaler, a national wholesaler. Like they've got all these deals out there, and they're just hey, you got to jump on here, you got to do this, you got to send us a proof of funds, all that kind of crap. But just take a look at what they sent over, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is the first one. It's 87 doors in Hollywood, California. All right, not a great area, but still, let's take a look. They want $7.5 million. $7.5 million for 87 doors. That's a pretty pricey cost per unit for these properties. But get a load of this. They want plus 4%. Now you might look at that and think to yourself, well, what is a plus 4% for? That's the wholesaler's fee. 4%. They want almost $300,000 as a fee for sending you this email. Now let's just put this in context here, folks, all right? Many of you are looking to syndicate deals, and when you syndicate deals, you're going to ask for a 3% syndication fee or a sponsor fee, right? 3% on a deal like this is over a quarter or close to $250,000. Close to $250,000 for you to find the deal, analyze the deal, do the due diligence, put the team together, find a mortgage, qualify for the mortgage, syndicate the money, make it all come together so that at the end of the day, you're going to get a check for almost $250,000. And what does this guy want? He wants to send you an email and have you give him more than what you're asking for, a third more than what you're asking for. That's chutzpah, because all this guy did is send you an email. That's it. He's not going to put the deal together. He's not going to go out there and qualify for the mortgage. He's not going to go out there and find the investors. He's just asking for 4% for this price, for this property. That's, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered, and this guy asking for that kind of money should get slaughtered. All right, so that's my first issue with what's wrong with this deal. Now take a look at what it's offering. It's 36 one-bedrooms and 51 studios. Oh, geez, 51 studios. What do we know about people who live in a studio? They're virtually transient. Nobody lives their whole entire life in a studio. So some of these people are going to be coming and going. Your turnover costs are going to be very high in a property like this. But look at this. His net operating income, according to him, is $754,148. And obviously with a 7.5 price tag, you're looking at about a 10 cap. So $754,000 is his NOI. And remember what NOI means. That means the gross potential income minus the expenses comes out with your net operating income. $754 to pay this debt and pay all your investors. But something didn't quite jive with me. All right, let me read a little bit more. Property info, Hollywood Little Ranches. Okay, the property address right here, 2626. I'm going to write this one down because I'm going to need this. 2643 Lincoln Street in Hollywood, Florida, 33020. Okay, it was built in 52. 36 one-bedrooms, 51 studios, built in 52 for $7.5 million. That just seems like an awful lot of money, doesn't it? Just seems like an awful lot of money. So let's look down here. Whoops, right down here. Gross operating income, $1 million. Total annual expenses, $345. So in other words, this guy is running this property, a 1950s circa property, at about a 35% expense ratio. 35%. That guy's going to have to really prove to me that he's able to make that property work at 35% expense ratio, because in Florida, for crying out loud, just the cost of the insurance is outrageous. Just the cost of the insurance is outrageous. So if this guy thinks he's able to run this property at 35% expense ratio, I'm not buying it. But there's something else. There's something else that's even more scandalous that I'm not buying at all. And it's this NOI of $754,000. Let me show you why I don't believe it, okay? This tells me a little bit more about the property. This is more of the email that came over. None of this stuff really impresses me. It's all fluff. It's all what we call in the legal profession as puffery. Now, what's the market like for this property in Hollywood, California? Let me show you how we figure this out. I'm going to just jump on over to, here we go. Let me find it for you. Here, check this out. This is called Rentometer. You all know what Rentometer is. You've heard me use it many times. All right? Let's take a look at this particular property on Rentometer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that address. Remember I wrote it down, 2643 Lincoln Street. Of course, it's telling you pretty much where I am right now. And this is going to be in Hollywood, Florida, right there. Now, it's a studio. So let's hit Analyze My Rent. Look at this. This is what it tells me, is that the median rent for this property is $692. Okay? And the average rent is $662. All right, so we've got that. Now let's take a look at what the one-bedrooms look like. The one-bedrooms are running at $695 average rent. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Let me show you this. You're going to see in just a second how smart Charlie really is. Here we go. Take a look at this. If I take 36 units of one-bedrooms times that $695 rent, and I take 51 studios at the $662 rent, I get these numbers from Rentometer, and I multiply that number times 12, and I add them together, it's going to tell me how much money that this property can generate at the market rates if everybody lived there 100% of the time for an entire year. And remember, we said the NOI was $705,384. No, I'm sorry, I misspoke. The gross potential rent, when I take those two numbers and I go back, I go here, I multiply these two numbers together, this property can only possibly generate $705,000 in a year on the most unbelievable year they could possibly have. This is all they could generate. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Remember? Look at the NOI. It was $754,000. And he's saying that the property can only generate $705,000. So how can it possibly pay all of its expenses, bring in all this money, pay all of its expenses, and have an NOI that is above the gross potential rent? The only way that can happen is that the other income category is almost $300,000. And I can tell you right now, for 87 people, for 51 of them living in studios, you are not going to generate another $300,000 of additional revenue from those people. I mean, laundry income? There are 51 studios. Why do you think these people live in a studio? Because they don't wash. They don't want to live with anybody else. You're not going to make that kind of money on the rent, on the other income categories. So this guy is bamboozling you with his own numbers, and you just figured it out in less than 5 minutes. So in this particular case, the NOI is actually greater than the gross potential rent. Take a look at this. According to them, the gross operating income was $1.9 million, but the gross potential rent is only $705,000. We're only off by almost $400,000. How can that guy justify the number? And I can almost guarantee you that if you picked up the phone and you had a conversation with this guy who's pushing this property, he's not going to know what the heck you're talking about. I guarantee it. So what does this mean? What I ended up doing was I used a little bit of algebra, and I came up with the extrapolation that according to their gross potential income, what they generated for income on this property, they would have to be charging $1,069 per month for one bedroom and $1,042 per month for a studio. That is so far off of the rent-a-meter number. Remember this? $695 or $662 versus $169 and $1042 for a 1952 product. Even Rentometer says that's not likely. So right away, you know this guy's deal just doesn't make any sense. $7.5 million to get there, to get to that property that the numbers don't even pencil out. Don't be bamboozled. All right. So now the next thing that I want you to see, let me just find out where it is. If you'll bear with me here a second, I'm going to pause my screen because I've got to find this. Oh, here it is down here. Good. Let me blow this up a little bit. Okay. Show my screen again. Oops. Didn't work out. Do that. Hold on. Still. There we go. I see that you folks are still looking at the wrong screen. Okay, hold on. There we are. There we go. I'm going to wait for this to come through for you. Come on, baby. I need to do this. There we go. Got it. Good. Okay. So they sent over another property package. The same guy, they sent over another property package with 4 portfolios. Let me go. I'm actually just going to walk you through this. Look, they're all in the Georgia area, College Park, Georgia area. One is 220 units. One is 175 units. 156 units. Note that there are no cars in the parking lot. And very few over here. Roosevelt, College Park, 120 units, 4 apartment complexes. Check this out. 671 units total. Now, just this one line here, I take qualms with. I don't think that's the right word, but I'm going to take it. Projected income after expenses of $3.1 million per year. What does that mean? We're multifamily people. What do we call income after expenses? We call it net operating income. We call it NOI. We don't call it projected income after expenses. We call it NOI. And why is it projected? I mean, it's a pro forma, for crying out loud. You're putting this on as a bullet point. Do you understand how multifamily works? I don't think you do. If you did, you wouldn't have put that bullet point in there. That doesn't make any sense. Now, look at this other point that really drives me crazy. 800,000 square feet, $27 price per square foot. Whoever buys a multifamily, or especially 4 complexes, based upon the price per square foot, why would anybody put that in there? That number does not make any sense whatsoever. And I'll tell you right off the bat, when you hear a broker start to tell you that the price per square unit, price per square foot of a property is so far below market, that is his way of saying that you're getting a steal, and it's my way of saying don't believe a word he's saying. That's not that it's not true, but the fact of the matter is all we care about is the rental income. All we care about is the income that this property generates. No tenant walks into a property and looks at the unit and says, oh, I love how big your two-bedroom is. I'll pay for this on a per square footage basis. They just don't. They look to see, what is your rent? I'm getting a two-bedroom. It's clean. It's neat. I can move in tomorrow. If you don't have that, the guy next door will have it, and he'll move over there. So nobody in this marketplace, no tenant, purchases a unit based upon the price per square foot. So you shouldn't buy your property the same way. All right? So it's priced at 26 to 36 price per unit, 26,000 to 36,000 per unit. $21.7 million offering price. Let's see what they're going to tell us. This is their offering package too. This is it. I've asked for it twice, and I got the same thing twice. I've asked for trailing 12s, and this is what they sent me. They sent me an executive summary of the portfolio, a map showing the properties, process required to purchase the properties. Oh, that should be interesting. The 4 different properties information sheets. Let's take a look. This is what they send you. All right, let's just read one of them. Located 2800 Camp Creek Parkway. This apartment consists of 175 units on 14 landscape acres. You want to take this name and you want to put it into apartmentratings.com or apartmentreviews.com and see what they say. Property is a leasing office. The property is currently 91% occupied. Excellent for rentals. Less than 20 minutes. And this property is a pipeline for a $20,000 per unit grant from the federal government due to its close proximity to the airport. Okay, you are not buying this property based upon that promise. Because I'll tell you something. Anything the government offers you, they can just as easily take away. So this thing has to stand on its own based upon the economics of this property right now. Otherwise, forget about it. Don't buy it because they may have a pipeline for a $20,000 per unit grant. All right, actual gross income in 2012 was in excess of $1 million. Okay, okay, why are you telling me that? It's 2016 now. The offering price is 6.4, equal to 36.5 per unit. All right, this one's 93% occupied. This one's 85% occupied. This one, let's see what that's done. This property is 90% occupied. All right, great. Show me a rent roll. I asked for a rent roll. They didn't send me anything. All right, so they're just giving you, this is it. That's it. Now they're going to show you a map that they can do Google Maps. Great. Now get a load of this. This is what drives me crazy. Remember, $21.5 million. You know how hard it is to get $3 million from a bank? You're going to have to get $21 million, less a down, to get into this deal. What does that mean? What does that translate into? It translates into a heck of a lot of signatures that you're going to need from a bank to get approval. And you're not going to get it off of the information that this guy has given you. And the information is going to continue to give you. Please review the attached documentation thoroughly before submitting an offer. Please complete an exterior-only drive-by. Do not disturb the tenants or management. Submit a formal letter of intent with proof of funds, and interior inspections will be arranged. We will prepare a simple contract after initial inspection. Earnest money equal to 2% of the purchase price to be tendered to the closing attorney within 24 hours of acceptance. 24 hours acceptance of what? Of the letter of intent or of the contract? Well, I'll tell you right now, if you and I don't have a contract, I'm not putting up 2%. That's crazy. Once we get a contract done, in the contract we'll have all the description of what we're going to do with that 2%. That's $400,000, folks. $400,000. As referenced above, the closing must be held. The closing must be held with McCormick and Van Meren, one of the top law firms in Georgia. Why? What if what if I want my title company to handle the closing? And what are they going to do? Are they doing the title search? I don't know these people. Why are you dictating to me that I have to use this law firm? Why? What's the love? Is it your wife's law firm? Is it your father's law firm? Who works there that you are telling me I have to use this law firm to close escrow? I want to know. Now get a load of this. Maximum inspection period of 15 calendar days. So that means that you got 15 days to go through the property and make sure that all 671 units are fine. But it's not so much the inspection, because we got a big enough team, we can do that. What if the title inspection finds out that there are a lot of problems with the title? How much time do I have to clean that up? And if it goes on beyond the 15th day, do I get to, get my money back? You see, I don't like the way this guy is trying to bamboozle me and pigeonhole me into a contract. I'm just not buying it. Closing within 25 days of acceptance. Okay, seriously, you're asking me to give you $21 million in 25 days. $21 million on a property that doesn't look all that pervy, and you haven't shown me any financials on it yet. And you're telling me I got to go through a unit inspection, and then you'll give me the numbers. I'm not buying it. So come on, this is crazy. And this kind of tells it all right here. No assignment clauses. Seriously? Are you kidding me? What do you think I'm going to do? Buy this property in my own name? I've purchased every contract I've ever written for a property has had an assignment contract. Do you know why? Because the entity putting the deal in a contract is never the entity that's going to own the property. That's the stupidest thing. This one provision right here tells me that these guys are juveniles, are JV players when it comes to getting these deals done. They've never had to deal with a $21 million property before. You just don't put in no assignment clauses. Come on, this isn't a single-family house. In regards to offering price, please resist the temptation to make a lowball offer. We will not accept it. Oh, really? Why don't you give me some financials and I'll tell you what the property is worth. If it's anything like the last deal you sent me, I'm 7.5 it doesn't even pencil out. So as you can see, who writes that in a contract? Who actually puts that in the terms for offer? Please resist the temptation. Oh, okay. Why is it sinful? I mean, come on, guys. In regards to timing, we fully expect to be under contract within 10 calendar days of the offering or sooner, as we will be marketing to investors, capital I, that have purchased from us before. All right, well, why don't you even send it out to us then? Why don't you just go right to them and let them buy it? And so that's another thing I said in my email when I shot it back to them. I said, hey, has this property been purchased yet? No word back. In regards to preferences and priority in regards to offers received, offer price being equal, portfolio purchases, cash offers, shorter inspection periods, and the earliest closing dates will be given priority. Well, good luck to you. And then, of course, that's it. That's it, guys. Then we look at pictures, pretty pictures. Take a look at his property information sheet. Tells us that the square footage of the property. It was built in '68, renovated in the '90s. If it was renovated in the '90s and was built in '68, it's still a C-class property. Oh, and look at weight, 36 units, 1.5 bed, size, market rent, actual rent, $24.50 and $5.25. See attached rent roll. There is no attached rent roll. I got nothing. So it tells you what the projected income is and what the actual income is. Then it tells you what the expenses are. The vacancy, 10% already subtracted from the income above, and the effective gross income. Then the expenses, they don't even tell you what it is. Why would you combine actual and estimated expenses? 40%, giving you a net operating income of 605. You know, it's just, this is it. You cannot. You're going to buy a $21 million property with this information? I mean, you should see what a typical broker property package looks like. A $3 million deal, it's a lot of information. Okay, it just goes on and on. what do you do? What do you do? You don't waste a whole lot of time because these properties are in very tough shape. Very, very tough shape. But not only that, you're dealing with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. You're dealing with somebody that's never had to deal with a property before, deal with a multifamily sale before. It's obvious. It's obvious just by what they're asking for and what they're providing. It can't be done. So don't be bamboozled. That's my lesson for all of you today. Let me see if I've got any. No, that's it. That's the end of our day. See, as I said, it was going to be a quick and easy one. I want you to think about these deals. Don't get tripped up into whatever these clowns are selling. You'll see a lot of this, especially if you're looking for deals on LinkedIn. There are a lot of posers on LinkedIn. Don't be one of those people. All right. So, if you have any questions, send them on over to info@multifamilyinvestingacademy.com, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Thanks, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.